The Las Vegas Bowl. Coach Herm Edwards, Arizona State taking on Wisconsin in this one. 7 was the number. 7 still is the number. In fact, the total has come down a little bit. I'm seeing 41.5 in this spot. And Dave, I got to imagine both Wisconsin and Arizona State will be well represented as far as fans go in this game. You give it an edge one way or the other?
Wisconsin will be the home team. Okay, I've made this point over the years. It's just the way it is. Wisconsin travels about as well as any school in the country in every sport. Hockey, basketball, football. Their fan base is amazing. And when their fan base gets to go someplace like Las Vegas, they're going to be here in huge numbers. I don't think Arizona State will be nearly as well represented. They'll get some fans up, but it's going to be a Wisconsin crowd, and that does factor into the analysis. I think the Badgers are going to treat this as a very important football game, and they match up well with Arizona State. The Sun Devils need to be effective on the ground to be effective offensively. Their quarterback is not a great thrower, and he needs to take advantage of teams keying that aren't able to key on the run to have passing lanes. Not going to happen with Wisconsin. Badgers are a great rushing defense. So the game power rates about where the number is, but I think the matchup clearly favors the Badgers. And again, I'm going to give them a point. I'm not going to give them a whole lot. Not going to be like a true home field, but I'm going to give them a point or two for the site advantage with their fan base. I got to go with Wisconsin in this one.
All right, leaning Wisconsin in this one here. Tony Mejia, I don't know if the Pac-12 has a physical team like this Wisconsin team is here that maybe Arizona State would have been at least prepared for. I don't know that they've seen anything like what Wisconsin's about to bring. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Oregon's defense is built on speed. Washington, what they were hopeful to be, probably the closest thing, but nowhere on the level of Wisconsin. And, the one thing I think anybody that watched the Pac-12 this year could tell you about Arizona State is extremely talented, but extraordinarily sloppy. Penalties. They beat themselves time after time. And it's a shame, too, because Herm Edwards, so likable and such a good coach, from a pedigree standpoint, but he couldn't get these kids and his staff, which is star-studded, couldn't get these kids to really iron things out. Otherwise, I think they would have, far exceeded what they were able to do, from a talent standpoint. And now we see that they're going to transfer a couple of guys out. DeMonte Trainum, their backup running back, is out. Rashad White, their starting running back, 1,000-yard rusher, opted to declare for the NFL draft, so he's not going to play. Their top 2 corners are out, same reason, NFL draft. And a big key for me, especially when you have a veteran offense in terms of your quarterback Samuels being there for a few years, so you can move forward and make the most out of your practices. You lack offensive line continuity because your starting center is out due to injury, and he's an all Pac-12 performer. A second or third year starting center, Donovan West, out due to injury. So that's Arizona State behind the 8 ball as it is. And Paul Chryst says that all of his players, including the seniors, are going to play, and that's a rarity. So as long as there's no COVID outbreak, I have no problem laying the 6.5, 7 here. I agree with Dave on Wisconsin, essentially being one of those schools that you can count on to travel and create a home field edge regardless of venue. So, I think so long as we don't get bit by the backdoor cover monster because Wisconsin's too conservative offensively, I think they'll be able to melt down the closing minutes and win by double digits.
Yeah, it's interesting, Brian, because when we usually see favorites of a touchdown or more with such a low total here, you tend to gravitate towards maybe the underdog in this one. But I don't know. Is there Arizona State? Do you give them an opportunity here to be able to pull this out?
Yeah, they have the opportunity. I don't know if that is a major goal for them. Dave talked about Wisconsin's wanting to come out here and play a better game. They are coming off the loss, whereas Arizona State just beat Arizona. Although just about everybody beats Arizona, so I don't know if that's such a big deal. But Tony talked about the 4 missing players for Arizona State, and I think that'll be big. When you're giving up some defensive backs, it's always a chance for Wisconsin to spread the field a little bit. And then with the running attack, they should be able to beat up on this Arizona State offense, or excuse me, Arizona State defense. And Arizona State, we know for a fact, is down to their third string running back. So when you've got a third string running back going against a team in Wisconsin that is really good against the run, that is a concern. Once again, Wisconsin off the loss to Minnesota. I prefer that side. You take a look at strength of schedule. We have Arizona State 67th, Wisconsin 6th. So that's in Wisconsin's value. I don't like to lay a lot of points in bowl games. I probably wouldn't lay more than 7, but right now we still got that number out there. So I'd agree with Dave. I think Wisconsin's probably the right side here.
All right. Wisconsin is the play there.